Good afternoon. I'm not sure if I am live on this thing. I think this is my first live. Unlock live goal. Okay. I don't think so. Keep going. We're letting more viewers know you're live. Okay, so that means that I'm live, right? Well, hello everyone. This is my second live video. Let me see, I think I should turn it like that. I'm just getting adjusted to this thing. Like I said, this is my second live, and I wanted to hop on to talk about something that has been on my mind to talk about for a number of weeks. And I just keep getting distracted with something else, so I decided to hop on and do a live. And with live you can do it as long as you want without cutting it off. And so I don't understand TikTok. People are viewing in large numbers, but they're hiding their profiles. I don't know what's the point of viewing. Are you just curious, inquisitive? What's going on? If you're going to view, just let yourself be seen and let me know that it's you. You know, whether I know you or not, I do appreciate the views. And let me see here. I think I should probably turn my screen. Just bear with me, guys, because I am all new to this portrait. I have no clue how to do it, so I'll just leave it alone. But what I wanted to talk about today was some, this craze of people that are here in the Cayman Islands or have been in the Cayman Islands talking about the Cayman Islands in a negative light. I have a bit of notes that I will be looking down on periodically so I don't behave like a derailed train, because I have a tendency to do that, especially when I get passionate about a topic. But I saw a video this morning by a non-Caymanian, and he made his comment and then he said TPC, and in his native accent, or his native dialect, his native language, TPC is abbreviated to PUSSYCLOT or CLOTH, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a curse word in that nation. And when someone expresses TPC, that means they're pretty frustrated. They're very, very upset, pretty much. And so this is not about Caymanians against other nations per se. It is about other nations that come to the Cayman Islands that are not happy being here or having been here. This is what I am doing my video for. And so we know we have a melting pot, it's called, of I think over 100 different nationalities here in the Cayman Islands. Now when you think about that, you may wonder, 100 different nationalities, who are all those people? Which countries do they come from? Well, I don't have a list. I should have gotten a list, but I can tell you there was some statistics some years ago, maybe last year I believe, and those statistics were pointing to Jamaicans, Filipinos, Americans, Canadians, UK, Hondurans, Nicaraguans. There's this other nation now that has a strong count here. I think it's over in Africa there. We have Indians, Pakistanis. I mean, we have people here from all different nations. I didn't even realize the world had over 100 nations, right? But so that being said, we have what I call language barriers, accent barriers. Language barriers, accent barriers, and we have thousands. I think the last count was that we had 80 something or almost 80 something thousand people here, and the statistics were that Caymanians are the smallest numbers. We're a minority, and so I am saying all this leading up to, again, me discussing people get online and bash, I'm going to use that word, bash, smash, bad mouth, whatever you want to call it, negatively, the Cayman Islands. And while this is a free world, we're in the Western world, it's a free world, we have Bill of Rights here, constitutional Bill of Rights. People are free to say what they want as long as they're not threatening the sovereignty, meaning the king and those who represent the king, for the governor and you know the deputy governor and those persons in authority. People are basically almost free to express themselves in this jurisdiction online and however they may want, as long as they're not threatening someone's safety, but and harassing someone over the internet by telecommunications and that sort of thing. You're generally free to say what you want. My thing is now is that I have become so frustrated with people who are here on island making these videos promoting Cayman in a negative light. Now let's be clear here. There are thousands of people coming to the Cayman Islands per month, whether visitors or persons coming with the hopefulness of either finding employment, and there's also thousands that come in to the country already having a work permit in their hand or on their mobile device or whatever the case may be. So we know, they said the Cayman Islands is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, and more so during the pandemic and after the pandemic, because we were one of the safest places, thanks to so they say Sir Aldo Sir Aldo McLaughlin. I have to laugh every time I call his name because I don't like the sir part of it, but anyway, give him his due title, because he was the premier at that time. And so we have visitors, famous people. I mean, the Cayman Islands have just continued to grow and grow and grow over time. And whether it's the location, whether it's the dollar sign, because you know our dollars is pretty close to the US there, and our immigration is very lax compared to many other countries, major gigantic countries. Our jurisdiction, our immigration is very, very lax. You can go nowhere else in the world and get entry to a country like you can to the Cayman Islands that I know about, how easy it is. And so look at the size of the UK or the US or Canada. You can't get a visa or a work visa or an entry visa nilly-willy to go to those countries. Their borders are tight. Cayman, with our little small jurisdiction collectively with 3 islands, is still, you know, it's still very lax. And because of that, we have seen an influx of people wanting to come to these islands. Now, what brings me to that is that, you know, like I said, there's people, I'm not going to say one particular nationality, but there's 1 or 2 particular nationalities that are very prevalent with these videos, very, very prevalent. And I am really, really disappointed. I know people have a tendency to get online and vent and grieve vent and, express themselves, and it helps to unburden them and their stress and whatever. But when you have thousands of people scrambling, coming to these islands, giving up everything they have in their national home country, trying to get to the Cayman Islands, right? For a better opportunity. And then you would be inclusive in that number, whether you're here presently or you were here, you were inclusive in that number. And you can't give the Almighty God thanks for putting you in an opportune position that you were able to land on the tarmac or the sand or however you got here of the Cayman Islands. Why criticize? You had to leave your country to come here for better opportunities, but yet you're here being, I call it ungrateful or unappreciative. It's only two words. You complain, you criticize. You're here in our beautiful islands. No, it's not beautiful like some other countries to some other nationals, because home is home. I've been to Canada, I've been to Jamaica twice, I've been to Honduras 4 times, I have been all over the United States. I've never seen any place beautiful like the Cayman Islands. I've seen places with similar water, had mountains that are beautiful, had jungles and forests and all different types of scenery that I think are beautiful, but they were not my home country. They were not the Cayman Islands. And I don't blame anyone to say there's no place like home, or here is not beautiful like their country. That's understandable, right? But you made the decision to leave your country and come to the Cayman Islands looking for better opportunities, but yet almost on a daily basis you get up. Matter of fact, some of you are even flying in the plane coming here, and you make these videos complaining about coming here to work based on what you heard other people saying and based on what other people experience, or them saying that they experience, but yet you're still flocking to the Cayman Islands, right? You have to be appreciative. I can't tell you to stop making these videos, but I can tell you one thing. It is not a good look. I would even encourage our government to do what the United States government is doing and monitor people's social media to see the resentment, almost the hatred, the spew of bitterness that people put on social media about the very place that is paying their living expenses and making it possible for them to have social media, have a phone, have a service on their phone, to spew this hatred and this bitterness. This has nothing to do with who likes Caymanians and who Caymanians doesn't like. This is about you migrating to the Cayman Islands, or aspiring to migrate to the Cayman Islands, or have been migrated to the Cayman Islands in the past, and yet you're getting online complaining about how tough it is here, how expensive it is here. Many of you have more opportunities than us as Caymanians that have family here, that has resources, and you still are here complaining. You are getting the jobs that Caymanians are not getting, regardless of why that is. Don't come at me telling me, well, we get the job because Caymanians not doing this and not doing that. I am not going to discuss that today. That's irrelevant to me. The point is, you're coming here, you're getting jobs that Caymanians either can't get, won't get, or are being blocked from getting, is the number one reason I would say. And yet you're still here complaining. You knew the circumstances coming here. It's not a secret that Cayman is expensive. It is not a secret that there's not enough places here for rent. It's not a secret that rent is expensive. But yet, year after year, month after month, week after week, nationals from all over the world continue to flock here. We just saw there was an article, I think, in the Compass, where someone was saying, regrettably, unfortunately, I've heard this story many times, paid their way to come here. Once these people are in our shores, to try and make sure that somewhere, somehow, someone tries to assist this person or these persons. But we're not going to allow people to stay here and be a burden a responsibility on the government, you will have to be repatriated back to your islands. Years ago, the immigration had such a really great repatriation program. I don't know where that went to, but I don't hear too much about it. But if you come here, just yesterday I saw, or this morning I saw online about a family of 7, husband and wife and 5 Caymanian children, and they don't have anywhere to stay. So why are you people getting online and bad mouthing the Cayman Islands about how expensive it is here? Be grateful, be thankful, be appreciative. I can't tell you what to say, but it is really infuriating to see it come through my stream every time, when I rarely see someone said, boy, you know, Cayman hard, but thank God me get the job, or thank God I got the job, whatever. I'm not trying to make anybody accent. My apologies for that. And I can tell you something. You see my last name? My last name comes from ancestry from Jamaica. So like I said, this isn't about any one national, but there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 specific nationals that get online and do it quite frequently. And sometimes I go through some of the pages. You'll see that I've viewed some of the pages, and I am like, wow, I don't see one video positive about Cayman. You counting the money, you showing how much you make every week or every month, which is a lot more than many Caymanians make, right? But you're still complaining. You're not saying, thanks Cayman for accommodating me to come to your country and work and make something to send back to whoever I'm sending it to, wherever I came from. I saw another video with this other lady coming in the plane to Cayman, and she made a video leaving her country on the airport, and then she made a video when she reached Owen Robert International Airport, and she was saying that was her dream. Her dream was fulfilled, of coming out of her country and coming to the Cayman Islands. There was another video with a lady that had come here. She said she promised her family she was going to bring them here. And then the video showed when her family arrived at the airport, it was about 6 of them. And they were all going to live here. This is supposed to be a transient nation because we need labor. We cannot function without labor the size of this country. That is without a doubt, right? We can't do it. But not everyone can come here to stay indefinitely. It is just humanly impossible. And some people, you have to understand that not everyone can stay for 5 years. You have to understand that. Look at the size, the geographical size of the Cayman Islands. Look at the size of Grand Cayman, the biggest island. Look at the size of the 3 islands collectively put together. Where are we going to put everyone that wants to come here and stay? Where? Why do you think we have a housing problem now? All the apartments that used to house Caymanians are now filled by immigrants. Where are we going to put everyone who wants to come here and stay here for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? We can't do it. We have locations around the islands that are preserved for environmental purposes. We can't build in those places. We can't build in those places to accommodate everyone. You guys have to realize respectfully, there's a saying, when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do, and then you have to leave Rome and go back to where you came from. And I'm saying that with all due respect. I migrated to the United States some years ago to go to school. And I didn't like a lot of things there. I have not once got online and made a video to not show gratitude about my time in the United States. Was I happy there 100% of the time? No. The United States has taxes. They have racism. Oh, look at my color. I could pass for mixed. I was often told I was passed for mixed or Hispanic or you know, black and white or whatever. But I did not one time sound ungrateful. Did I say to some of my friends and family, boy, life is hard up here, I'm going through this or I'm going through that or whatever? Yes, I did. Because that's life. But did I get online and complain about the little money I make or the teachers in the school or how hard the teachers were, and if they heard you have a little... No, I did nothing like that. I went, I saw, and I came back. And I am just tired, people, of you sounding so unappreciative, so unthankful, so ungrateful with some of the videos that you make here in the Cayman Islands. Many of you show off when you go back to your islands and how you've used your money to change you and your family's lives. You've built homes, you've bought cars, you've opened businesses, you've done this, you've done that, and yet you're still criticizing the Cayman Islands. What have the Cayman done so hard for you when life was that hard for you in your native country that you had to come out and migrate to this country to make a living, to make a life, to take care of your family, your children? Which pausey, I'm going to mention another topic that I wanted to talk about, and that is, I saw another video that I shared to my social media, tried to, because this one really hit home out of all the videos that I saw about marriages of convenience and persons, coming to Cayman and marrying and having other families. And I can honestly tell you, this guy, I know he's not going to mind if I call him out. It's a Jamaican guy, and that's the truest, bare, honest video I've ever seen, where someone actually said the truth, where we have people coming here from certain nationals, but there's at least 3 nationalities that it is clear statistically a no-brainer. That is the intention when most of these people come to the Cayman Islands. Of their intentions is to have a second family, a second relationship. They get married and they intentionally, deliberately plan to have children, one at least child, in order to stay in the Cayman Islands. Why, I don't know, because many come on work permits. If you come here on a work permit, why is it necessary for you to anchor yourself in the Cayman Islands, that you need to make sure you live here indefinitely while you have a second family back in your native country? That reasoning has been beyond me for years. What is the purpose? For you to remain in the Cayman Islands for 20, 30 years, maintaining 2 families, and some of these families that marry some of these people are now wards of the country, because what the Caymanian partner is making has to go contributing sometimes to their non-Caymanian partners for them to send back to their native country to help maintain their families over there. And I'm not talking about families like brother, sister, mother and father or anything like that. I'm talking about girlfriends and wives and children. And Caymanians are suffering. Caymanians, you need to do your due diligence. Interpol checks. Google, search social media, ask questions. Don't just marry right away. You don't marry somebody in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Give it at least a year to know someone before you get married. And I'm going to tell you something. Most of these people that come here and end up in relationships with Caymanians, their families back in their countries know what's going on. It is a way of life to some of these people from some of these nations. Their families, their parents, their brothers and sisters, their children, their spouses, their significant others, they know what's going on. They know that they've come to Cayman, they've hooked up with someone, got in relationships, maybe 2 or 3, and then they marry, have children, and the families are all in agreement. Some of you, these significant others, do not want to take you back to their national country. And if they do eventually do it, you must be very vigilant and observant. because the families many times are in on it. I am not pointing to one particular nationality because I know at least 4 or 5 of the 100 and something nationalities that are here. It is very, very prevalent. Caymanians, you have to do your due diligence. I know a Caymanian right now that another person from her husband's country told me that that was his intention to marry this Caymanian. And I saw her last week. She's married to the guy. I knew, but she's not somebody. I could tell that that was the intention because I don't want to get in trouble with people. I don't want anyone assaulting me or cussing me out or something like that. But I am telling you, Caymanians, do your due diligence. Many of these people come here for economic benefits and they don't care about you. They can pretend. They pretend so good because it is a way of life for them. It is how they survive. Many people that come out of their country come out for economical benefits. If they are heck bent on staying in a country where they get a work permit 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, and you work in the Cayman Islands, and you basically downgrade the Cayman Islands, but you make it possible that you stay rooted in the Cayman Islands for 10, 15, 20 years, right? But you don't like Cayman. Cayman is nothing to be here. Caymanians, you have to be vigilant. Like I said, I'm not criticizing, I'm saying it again, I'm not criticizing one national because there's good and bad in every nationality, every culture. We all, even here in the Cayman Islands, but I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to the representatives of the Cayman Islands. There's nothing wrong with you marrying outside of your country, outside of your people, but be vigilant. Pay attention, listen, observe. Do not be caught up in the rhetoric of being in a web and you are being abused in all fashions because you married someone who has pressure on them to maintain their family in their native country while they deliberately, intentionally came to the Cayman Islands to get another family so they can stay here. So they can make sure that they're here long enough to get a house here and have their family, and then you know what you end up doing, maintaining. It happens especially with the women, Caymanian women. You end up being the vulnerable one, and what you have end up having to split between your significant other and what you're trying to accomplish here. Listen, this is not a new thing to Cayman, you know. This is not a new thing to the world. But years ago, Cayman wasn't as populated as it is now. We didn't have the internet like we do now. We didn't have so much scamming and scheming and deception and you know, it's nothing new. We've had this in our islands for a long time. But we need to pay attention. Like I said, don't be fooled because many times the families are in on it. People listen to me. Not all the time, but many times. The mom, the dad, the brothers, the sisters, the children, the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, because it's all going to be a benefit to them. I am not saying it's all people that migrate to the Cayman Islands and marry Caymanians or get in relationship with Caymanians. I love multicultural. I love multicultural. You know, my family is a very multicultural family. Jamaicans, Hondurans, Cubans, Americans. There's some of everything in my family, my maternal family on my mother's side. And so my kids, my youngest daughter is multicultural. So it's not bashing nationalities. I just would love to see more positiveness online, especially from particular nationals that come to this country showing their money off online, you know, how much they made, showing where they live, how expensive. I am not going to, some of you have been following me for quite a while, so you know I've been talking about housing. And I have not only housing for Caymanians to get homes, but housing in terms of the conditions that I've been advocating for legislative enforcement of residential tenancies, landlord and tenant issues. That's going on 3 years now, and that's still not here or there. It's still, it just seems like the government just do not want to address this issue, right? And that makes me feel, respectfully to this government and the previous government, that makes me feel that the average class citizen is not considered. The average class Caymanian is not considered. And we're going to see more homelessness in this country. And it's certainly not going to be from immigrants, because they can congregate. One thing about immigrants, I'll say, they stick together with their nationals and they can congregate together with one another. Caymanians don't do that for the most part, and we can't do that. Because you know why? We are not used to that type of life. We don't function well in that type of life, and we don't expect to be doing that in our own country. We expect that we should have the resources and accommodations that we need in our own country, because many of us have nowhere else to go. But that is not the case. So many of you, I can understand some of you get online that are not from here, and you talk about the high cost of living and rent and stuff, but it's how you do it. You criticize and you bash in a negative way, and you sound so ungrateful. But yet, when it's time to renew your work permit, or you want a job hop, you are going stark crazy trying to make sure that you meet the demands of getting another work permit renewed, or getting a new one, or job hopping, or getting new accommodation. I have known people in church that have lied to keep their husband here with them and to get work permits. Church goers, deacons and deaconesses. This is how desperate some people behave when they're here. They can't get into the US because they can't get a visa. They can't get accommodations to go to, when I say accommodations, the paperwork, to go to the UK or Canada. Where else are they going to come? Our lax immigration jurisdiction of the Cayman Islands. They're going to come here, and they're criticizing. They're praying against the government. Yes, I've heard it. They are praying against the Cayman Islands government. This government especially, that has the backbone of trying to make immigration changes. I've heard people praying against the government that they fail because they don't like what the government is trying to do. Let me tell you people, change is not going to be easy. Nobody likes change when they're comfortable. Even me. You gravitate to what you're most comfortable with. Nobody likes changes. But it may not be 22 years, but changes are coming. And I hope the government tries to consider, is it lawful for us to monitor people's social media and see what they're saying about living here in the Cayman Islands, whether that can factor into when we consider them for living and working in the Cayman Islands. Get scared, people, because I would advocate for that. You cannot simply want to come to another man's country and then you're not happy with anything here. But if you see you on the weekends, you're out in the supermarkets, you're laughing and joking, having fun, you look nice and clean and well kept. But you're making these videos, you have to be grateful for Cayman, please. Give God thanks and you will be more blessed. That's what the Bible tells us. As you give God thanks, you will be more blessed. And it may not be monetary rewards. Yes, we know we have problems here with employers. Which employment you go in other countries that you come from, you have problems with employers there. I see some people making videos from their own country, talking about the hardships of conditions there and employment, or they can't get employment, or so why is it Cayman? I'm a Caymanian, born, bred, generational as we call it today. And so, I don't like it. And I'm not going to pretend like I like it. And I wish I could comment on every single one that I see and tell you all to stop it. most of you can read and write because you're on social media all the time. So it's not like you're not educated or you don't have the know witherall to understand how to use your words. What are you going to complain about, Cayman, to PC? To PC. Some of you that are watching from a specific nationality, you know what to PC means. It's a curse word, curse statement. It means you're upset. You're not happy. Strongly not happy. And it's very discouraging to see it. If I was in Parliament, I would advocate, just like Donald Trump is doing up in the United States, President Trump, excuse me. Let me put some respect on his name. In the United States is doing. They had to take drastic measures. Some people don't like it. That particular thing, I appreciate. Because of terrorism in that country. That particular thing I appreciate because of terrorism in the US. And that will affect the rest of the world. And I think all of that goes to other different avenues to consider for US visas, US employment visas. In the time of the US has all different kinds of applications of entry into their country for all different kinds of categories. I know. And if they can do it, the Cayman Islands can do it too. Honorable Michael Miles, Honorable Deputy Premier and Honorable Premier, and the rest of the government and the opposition collectively, who all votes on everything whenever they come to the Parliament, it may want to be a measure that you all explore to see how best you can utilize, because the rest of the world is doing it. And Cayman is one of the fastest developing nations. Let's look at this. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Someone was just convicted. Now, I'm not talking about this case. I'm talking about the immigration aspect behind the person that was convicted, right? I didn't follow the case extensively to see what was happening. I don't know anything about the person that was convicted. He looks familiar, but I don't know him or know of him. But what I'm going to touch on is the fact that someone was deported or caused to have to leave a jurisdiction like Canada, right? And that person was able to enter the Cayman Islands. I understand, get married and be legally lawfully here. How is that possible? With the wealth in this country and the resources that we have in this country, our government needs to put more vetting in place. I worked at the immigration department for 4 years, almost 4 years, back in the 90s, and I was the first point of contact in my department of the Caymanian status and permanent residence section. And for persons who, I don't think it was called rights to work or something else it was called. Something else happened when you were married to a Caymanian before you could get permanent residence or status. I don't remember what it was at that time. But we did Interpol checks. If any of you don't know what Interpol checks is, INTERPOL, Interpol checks. It is basically a background check that goes to, basically checks to see around the world what background a person has. This isn't the first time this has happened in Cayman. We have to do checks where if the person is even questioned for certain types of activities, if they even brought in whether they charged or not, it's in the system. We have to do reciprocal agreements with other countries if we can. We are an offshore, what is it called, overseas territory of the United Kingdom, right? I have not looked into it to see what agreements the UK has with other countries. I have studied human rights and I know some of the different forms of documents and some of the countries that are part of those documents and so forth, but I don't know us as a territory and being a UK territory exactly what we have going on with who. But if we can explore reciprocal agreements with other countries, I know we didn't necessarily have one. I think it was with Honduras. I think, I don't know, I don't want to say. But we need to explore that. That way we can do background checks. Now let me tell you, the police can do vetting and inquiries with other jurisdictions when they want to. I don't know about immigration, and I know they all have their long arms of the law with other jurisdictions. They do. The government here does. But I don't think it is extensive. We need the resources implemented. This country has so many rich investors and persons who have investments on these shores. Tax evasion. See, we had another man just arrested overseas. I can't remember which country that was, maybe Canada or one of those places, where it was found he had, what was it, 7 point something million, I believe it was, in the Cayman Islands. Now he's arrested. You're going to tell me all these people are hiding their wealth here in the Cayman Islands, and we don't have a means and a mechanism to say, okay, if you're going to be here, this is what you have to contribute? Let me give you a little scenario. You see Georgia and most of the states, most of these countries and the states, you're not going to go to their country and use their resources without paying. You can't go to the state of Georgia in the United States and make a movie, make a commercial or nothing in their state without paying. We got to capitalize on the Cayman Islands. Every other movie and show is talking about the Cayman Islands being hiding people's money and stuff like that. We have to capitalize on our name, and once we capitalize on that, we can have those resources. We have a whole little business city here in the Cayman Islands that pays nothing towards existing here. We could be getting some benefit from that to contribute to the public purse. And then we could be using that money to put into the resources to combat these illegal entries of persons who have a shady background, who have a criminal background, questionable background. And including some of these people that are here on island now. If you watch some of their tattoos, ah boy. Cayman Islands, we have issues, we have problems, we have people who are here making their lives better, their families' lives better from existing here amongst us on our shores with our employers, and they're ever online talking negativity. Now the guy video that I can't remember his name, but the guy's video that caused me to say, okay, Pat, you really need to talk about this. It was a funny video, and it wasn't negative at all. I do believe it appears that this guy actually works here on island, and he's made quite a number of amusing videos. Now, he has a style of getting his message out. Not derogatory, not negative, and I applaud him because he's talking facts. He's making it sound like he don't know, he only hears so, but he knows. He knows what's going on here. And it's true. That's why the government, you know, there was a particular nationality some years ago where you could go to get your US visa, and it changed the whole scope of the United States visa, how they operated and how they approved visas. Because apparently, the story on the road is that insiders in this country who were employed with the consulate was selling visas. They were doing shady stuff with the visas, and then they were caught, and it changed the whole scope of how United States operated with their visa system for the entire world. Because people are so hell-bent on going against the system and getting things go how they want, instead of just being grateful. And instead of just being thankful and just saying, boy, me get paid today, or I'm sorry, I'm going into monotone with a particular accent. That's not what I mean to do. But instead of being okay with it. Yes, it's hard here. Caymanians have it hard here. You guys see me sitting here, you think I have it easy or what? I do not have it easy at all. When I was in America, I didn't have it easy. When I was in Jamaica, when I was in Honduras, when I was in Canada, I didn't have it easy. But I definitely do not have it easy in my own native country where I was born and mostly raised. So I can understand if some of you feel you don't have it easy. You got to look at us people and see what's going on with us. Some of you come here and you're driving, you say you can't afford no Benz. Many of you driving Benz. You're on work permits. You're driving name brand high-end cars. I'm not jealous. Trust me, I am not jealous. What I am is frustrated and upset because you're constantly barraging the very place that allows you to live and exist and provide the way that you have it, whether it's expensive or not. It may be better than where you came from. It got to be because you want to stay here. You want to stay here and continue in your circumstances and make the money and live in wherever you're living and work however you're expected to work. If your circumstances are not ideal, not humane, we have places you can go to get relief. You can get support. Not everything here is only for Caymanians, but it should be as best as it can be because this is our country. We are the people of this nation that made it, along with other people who migrated here, yes, but we are the people that built this country up. So we should have rights here, and people need to stop crying against us when we cry out for our rights, with all reason, within reason and with all reason. We have the right, it's our country. We can't go to other national countries and say, I want to do this and I want to do that and be, yes, every country has rights for people that are on their shores, within their jurisdictions. But the people of the country still has, for the most part, the most rights. So you guys that are making these videos, you people, respectively, you need to think and shift your thinking. How am I projecting this video? I am in the Cayman Islands and I am criticizing, I am being distasteful, ungrateful, unthankful, unappreciative. I just don't have any type of just embracement of what I am being able to accomplish here in this island. And if it's time to go, God, thank you for the opportunity to have been here. God, thank you for the opportunity to be going here. And you be appreciative. Again, I can't tell people how to think, what to say. We're all human. We're all entitled to our own free speech and our thinking. But some of you have even talked to me, and I see videos online. You say hi to me, or you try to add yourself to the pages or whatever, and I see your videos, and I don't feel good about it because I don't know how to respond to you knowing that you made a video like that, and maybe 2 or 3 other videos too. You know, how can I feel good about that? I embrace everyone. I welcome everyone. People message me all the time with all kinds of revelations, divulging things, sharing things. You know, if I was someone else, or if I had a different mindset, or you know, we have a good media source on island that is what should I say? That is a good representative on if you want to be if you want to have things get out in the open. I don't need to do that. We have a good representation in the media doing that, and I will send everyone over there to that side because we all have a part here to play, right? I will send everyone over there who wants to do what's his name now, that guy from the US there, I can't remember his name. Certain things I can do and say yes, but other things I won't do. But one thing that I will do is tell people I'm not contented, I'm not happy, and maybe a lot of other people are in Cayman are not happy too, that don't like it, and they don't have the courage to stand up and say, don't do it. Be grateful for Cayman. Look around and see what Caymanians have compared to you, even if it's hard. Be, let me touch on something else quick time, because my memory is a little shifty right now. I think I've been on here for maybe an hour or so. But guys, I really do not know how TikTok live works. I'm just trying to, I don't know. There's all kinds of little signs and symbols and stuff showing up on the screen. But I want to say this. Cayman Marlwood had a program on a recording on this morning with the Deputy Governor, Mr. Manderson, and I would encourage many of my Caymanians who have been incarcerated or have had convictions on their records or whatever to go to Cayman Marlwood. The program has a YouTube channel, so the programs are all recorded there, and you can't miss it because Mr. Manderson's face is right up there for today's segment. And I think it may have been for I think it may have started 2 hours after the show started at 7:30. And I would encourage any of my Caymanian people, male or female, young or old, middle-aged, to go back and listen to this pre-recorded segment of Mr. Manderson speaking about the Second Chance program. Now, this is not the first time Mr. Manderson has been on air talking about this program. I think he was on CMR before. I do believe he was on Radio Cayman before also. And he went into a little bit more details, I believe, compared to the other appearances. And it sounds like, there's some things that's being explored with the program. And I know some people said they don't want to hear about government doing this program. I think government is the perfect organization or representation or whatever you want to call it to do such a program. I would like to see all MPs in every district try to have some sort of workshop or information sessions in their districts for their constituents to advise them of this program, and also to advise them, speak about the Spent Conviction Act, so people can know. If anybody wants a copy of the Spent Convictions Act, I can help direct you to where you can get a copy, so you can see if you've had a conviction, how many years after after your conviction that you could be eligible for an expungement and that sort of thing, or bombard the Deputy Governor's office with calls at the government administration building to get that information too. And so I just wanted to chime that in while I remembered, because that was a very, very interesting and extensive recording that Cayman Marlwood played this morning. And like I said, it's on her on its YouTube channel. You can't miss it. Mr. Manderson's face is right there for today's episode. So not for yesterday, because it was I believe it was supposed to air yesterday and didn't air, but it definitely aired today. So go back. Georgetown, all over the Cayman Islands have persons that could use this information. Now, I don't know if there's enough positions to go around, but I also want to encourage people that may have maybe I'll talk about this in a separate video. I think I'm going to wrap up now, because I have really exhausted myself with this topic today of people getting online and bad-mouthing the Cayman Islands, criticizing the Cayman Islands while they're working here. When I first got back home, from school a few years ago, I rented a room in a house that was owned by a non-national Caymanian. I do believe the person has permanent residence by now, or did have permanent residence at that time. And the person was married to a Caymanian initially, had a government job, still has a government job, and employed in one of our law enforcement departments. And so this person rented a room, rented 2 rooms. Matter of fact, they were breaching planning law because they had subdivided up their house and was turning 2 bedrooms into 2 separate apartments. And so they had built a wall down the middle of the kitchen, living room, and only had half a kitchen, well, they had a full kitchen, but half a dining room, half a living room, and then had turned the other 2 bedrooms into they built 2 little kitchen things. But in any case, I was renting a room from this person, and like I said, they had previously been married to a Caymanian. And let me tell you, this person was on a scholarship, working in the government department, on a scholarship from the Cayman Islands government, doing nursing, intending to move from the department they were at over to nursing when they were finished. And the hatred, the bitterness, the resentment that this person had against Caymanians. Now, I'm a Caymanian, and they never showed me that type of face, but they were always expressing it to me. And me being me, I turned everything into a joke. Because you guys see how much I smile and grin and whatever. That's not necessarily because I want to smile and grin. Sometimes I do it because I'm nervous. Sometimes I do it to calm myself down because I'm getting a bit passionate about what I'm speaking about or thinking about. And so sometimes I do it just to diffuse a situation or just to unguard people, take them off their guard. And I would often do this with this person. I would often laugh and say, why you hate Caymanians so much if you're still here working? And I am so sorry, people. There's a little thing that's just popping up here, asking me to verify something. But I said to this person, I said, why do you hate Caymanians so much? I mean, you're here working, you're married to Caymanian, you work with the Cayman Islands government. Your whole life is in the Cayman Islands. Because of the Cayman Islands government and the Cayman Islands money, you're able to get a house. You're on a scholarship, and you're going to be moving from one occupation to the other. Why do you hate Caymanians so much? And I could not get this person to change their mind. I don't know what happened with him and his situation, but it baffled me till I literally had to move from there, because this person had such resentment towards Caymanians and the Cayman Islands that one morning I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a message, because I sent a joke, a video that was a joke from his country, that someone from his country sent to me. Oh my goodness. And he just took that and ran with that. I was so amazed. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And so I couldn't take it anymore. To my natural personality is to be how you see me on camera right now. This is, anybody that really knows me knows this is how I am. And so I was beside myself. I had to go and ask someone, can I reside with you till I find my own place? Because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't fathom someone living and working and became a homeowner and working with the Cayman Islands government, getting a scholarship, a full-blown $1,000 something scholarship, thousands of dollars, and you don't like Caymanians. You berated the Caymanians that were on the same job as you. You tried to tear them down. You tried to get them in trouble at work. These were all things this person shared with me. And so that example I'm just showing you of how tasteless it is for people to be in this country. Small little Cayman Islands that allow you guys to have opportunities that you wouldn't have ordinarily had any other way. And those, especially those that are presently in the country, you know, you guys need to rethink how you present yourselves. You really need to think how you present yourself with the things that you say online. You know, your employers could be monitoring your social media. It doesn't matter how you block it. Trust me, you got somebody on there that will see it and can share it. So make sure you have everything that can't be reshared and block your profile, because people are watching and you don't know how it could affect your employment. You don't know how it could affect your relationship, your professional relationship in other ways. Even the labor office could be watching these videos and looking to see how you behave when some people go up to the labor office and lie on their employers. Lie on their employers. And so I hope the Department of Labor will get online and start searching people's social media too, and see how they're bad-mouthing Caymanians and talking about Cayman Islands and their employers. And oh my God, I can't even tell you guys some of the stories that I hear. I can't. But for a little small jurisdiction like Cayman, and we welcome people in all the time and offer people opportunities that many Caymanians don't have. It doesn't matter if Caymanians don't want to work, because I know, matter of fact, I don't see too much negative comments on my social media. Most people don't even comment. I have to look into the little trackers to see who has viewed and how many people have viewed and stuff, because nobody says anything, so I guess that must be good, right? Nobody basically comments, and whether you comment or not, it's indifferent to me. I'm just gonna say I'm a Caymanian. This is my country. I respect everyone. Like I said, I know people from all walks of life. I've helped people from all different countries here in the United States and other places. And so it's not about being prejudiced or impartial or anything against anyone. I would just love to go online sometimes and scroll and not see so much of these negative videos, especially some of you that I know are here on Ireland, because some of you even have the some of you even have the Caymanian flag up on your thing by your national flags, and you're criticizing Cayman. I don't know how you do it. How do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself, people? You have your, and listen, this, like I said, there's about 5 nationalities particularly that does this. They criticize Cayman and they have the Cayman flag up there next to their country flag, nice and proud. And if you hear some of them talking when they get paid or when they're out in the restaurants or in the supermarket talking to one another, or the hair salon, or the barber shop, or the gas station. This is funny. This is hilarious, people, to think. I wish I could just share some of these videos and just put them on blast. And I know a lot of you too. I'm acquainted with a lot of you. Not that I know. I'm acquainted with a lot of you that do it from certain nationalities. So when you post these videos, do me, the Cayman Islands, and yourselves a favor. Please be nice with what you say. Remember that you are here, and it's these islands that are making it possible for you to be here and to accomplish what you're accomplishing. Whether you have to catch the bus, or you have to hitch, or you have to get up early in the morning, it's much better than what you might have had ahead of you before. You know? So I just want to say that it has really irked me over the time. It really has. and I go online. People surf my pages, so I surf people pages and I look to see what's going on out there, and certain things that I'm gonna bring up and talk about, and so I just want to put that out there for everyone. Thank you everybody who has come online and viewed. I really appreciate that. I'm actually surprised by the numbers, and maybe I'm naive and gullible to this whole, videography and recording and live and all that sort of thing. You guys can see I'm an amateur by what I post. I can't get it right, and so as time goes by, I'll get it a little bit better. But I'm thankful that you listened. If you want to make comments, go right ahead. If you want to inbox me and say something, that's fine too. I'm not as scary as I probably look. I know I have a tendency to be a little quiet when I'm in public. I don't. Sometimes I don't even remember people's faces until people say something, unless you're someone I've known for a long time. But I know how some of you may feel, because like I said, I've been to other countries, especially the US, where I was there for a number of years in school, and I moved around for school, and moved around for different reasons and stuff, and so I know what it feels like to be in somebody's country and feel like things are really rough. But like I said, I'm not you and you're not me, but I would not get online and criticize somebody. You can search my social media all you want for donkey years. I think I first came online on Facebook. The first social media was 2017, so I was a little bit late behind most people. And you can search and search. You're not gonna catch me anything, and I'm not gonna go back that far to look to try erase anything, because I know myself. I never got online and put stuff like that online and criticize just for viewership or for likes or for follows or to make money or anything. Matter of fact, I don't think any of my accounts are monetized, because I don't have that much followers or likes or anything like that, and that's okay with me too. That's not why I'm here. I'm just here to share things with people like everybody else. And again, I want to encourage many of you to be careful what you're posting online, especially here in Cayman, where it's so small, and 345 does a great job of reposting some stuff, so people be careful. I don't know what else to say, but thank you guys for watching. And what's this one? Be careful. Somebody's saying be careful. King Bops Jam Rock. What do you mean be careful? Be careful of what? What should I be careful of? I'm not saying anything negative. I've not one time called any particular nationality. But even if I did, I have the rights. I'm not threatening anyone's safety. I'm not sure why you're saying be careful. I thought I had freedom of speech. Of course you have freedom of speech, sir. I did say that a number of times in this live. And I was very clear to say that if you're here in a country that is providing for you, why would you make comments? No, I didn't say be careful. You're typing and saying be careful. I don't know where you heard me say be careful. When I might have said be careful of what you post online, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know if work is watching. You don't know if the labor office is watching. You don't know if CBC is watching. You don't know if your employer is watching. That's why I said be careful. And yes, free speech is free speech, but derogatory, negative free speech, if you're complaining about your employer, you wouldn't want your employer to see that you're online complaining about your job and your employer and how the employer treats you, because no employer wants that. They don't want a disgruntled, bitter employer on their job. They might not say it to you because that's against the law for them to discriminate like that, but you don't know what people is thinking in their human form for your next evaluation, or they'll find something some reason one day you could come in and call in sick, and they were like, oh well, you can't call in sick, I really need you, this is your 5th time, and they'll dismiss you. I mean, all kinds of things can happen. I'm not going to get into that with you. King, what is it, King Boops Jam Rock? Yes, of course you have the right to complain, my friend, of course you do. But I'm just saying, be mindful of how you do so, because it comes across as being unappreciative of being here and having access to the benefits of being here. It looks like you just tuned into the live, and I've been here for quite some time now. Ooh, I've been here probably about 2 hours. So I think you've just tuned in. I am from Cayman, born and raised, okay? And yes, you have the right to complain. Nobody said that you can't complain. Especially as a Caymanian, you definitely have the right to complain. But I'm talking about people from other nationalities. Not only, but explicitly, well, mostly I'm talking about people from other nationalities, because they are the ones that could be more affected by what they say online in terms of complaining about Cayman and the lifestyle here. And like I said, everyone has the right to complain, to vent, to express themselves, freedom of speech, free world in the Western society. I am just saying, if you're here, and this is only my personal opinion, if you're here, you're working here, you're taking advantage of the Cayman Islands and what it has to offer and what it has afforded you to do, and that is be here and work and make money to help take care of you and your family, whether they're here or in another country, then you have to be mindful of what you say. Yes, of course they can complain to you. I'm not going to have this discussion with you, sweetheart. You can go back and listen to the live when I post it. But I see that you're just coming on late. And one thing about me, I may talk a lot, but I am very careful, mindful of how I speak and what I say. I am educated, and so that is very important to me, to get my words out properly, to make sure people understand me. I'm not going to hurt my neck anymore because I have my camera turned sideways. No, Cayman taking advantage of them. Yes, in a way you're right. I absolutely agree with you in many sense, that people here take advantage of those people who migrate here, and I didn't deny that at any time. In fact, I've mentioned a bit of that, and it's good you live in no fear. That's good to hear. I hope more people are like you, but like I said, the reason for this live was to say that I've come across these videos time and time again by people who live in Cayman or working here, and people who've been here and worked here, and they've gotten the benefits of being here in the Cayman Islands, but they have such a resentment, such a hardening in their heart for being here, and we don't ask. The Cayman Islands don't ask. Yes, we need foreign labor, as they call it. We'll always need foreign labor. As you see, we're a minority number in the Cayman Islands right now because our numbers are so low in the population. The growth and demand of being here in this jurisdiction by all different kinds of markets and services has caused us to have an influx of need for other people to be here working, and it contributes to the economy immensely. But I am just saying, if you were successful enough, blessed enough to have been here and or are here, it's just sensible for you to think about what you're putting out there on social media about the very place that causes you to be in the position that you are, even though it may be hard. And like I said, I've been through hardships in another man's country. Trust me, I've been through it, me and my kids. So I understand. America is no joke when you're in America. I've been to Honduras and Jamaica where, you know, the circumstances are not as good as America, and then there's violence in every corner in most places, especially, you know, in the cities that I've been in. But I didn't experience some of those things as I experienced in America. So I know it can be hard, and I know it's easy to want to jump on social media and vent. And I was just saying, no politics and elites have it that Cayman are lazy. Caymanians are lazy. Anyway, I don't understand what that is saying. But my friend, it's nice to engage with you. I'd like to see you make more comments to some of the things that I do post online. I do plan to get back online with my talk show eventually in another coming weeks. Oh my gosh, so many people have been reaching out to me about that over the last year and a half. I am so surprised. I didn't know so many people had listened to it, but many of you can tell me what I was talking about on the shows and quote my words and stuff like that. And so I'd love to get back up and have, you know, some discussions. But this has all been only my personal opinion with this live. And so, like I said, it just frustrates me sometimes to go through the videos and see it. Now other social media will post and you know, like the real Caymanian social media, like 345 and those other places, they repost and you know, for discussion and interaction and stuff like that. I feel it's necessary for a Caymanian to verbalize my point of view without disrespecting or discriminating against anyone in a direct form, because we welcome and embrace many people that come here. Unfortunately, we all also receives unsavory and unfavorable types of persons also, ill-intentioned people. And so nevertheless, you know, it is a free country, and I can say what I want to say to within reason and with respect to everyone. And I just feel that people should consider what they're posting when they're posting, because they're still in Cayman, or they've been in Cayman, and they've done so much by being here in Cayman. And so King Books Jam Rock, on the elders always looking for white approval. That's the reason for more work permits. Anyway, sir, you have your opinions and I respect yours. We're all free to do that. And I am not an elder in a manner of speaking, because I don't know what you know about me, but I'm not looking for anyone's approval. That's why I can get online here and talk the way that I talk. When I had my talk show that I was in the studio and I was paying for airtime, I was doing something a bit different. But you know, this has afforded me to get online and speak how I want to speak. And like I said, I speak freely. I'm not looking for anybody's approval. And I do appreciate. Okay. Yeah, you said honor elders, so that includes, when you're saying honor to someone, that's including that person. You should say those elders, and that excludes me. But I appreciate you clarifying that. Thank you very much. And I am going to post this live. Now, like I said, I'm new to TikTok for a few months in depth, and so I'm going to try to figure out how to post this live so people can take their time and go back over it. But it has been very long. I was planning to keep it to an hour, but I think it's been about 2 now. So thank you for you guys who tuned in. And I don't know if I could turn this like this. Okay, thank you for you guys who tuned in. And you know, if you want to make comments or whatever, I appreciate. I don't know what all these little things are up here for. I see a P with one. I don't know what all that stuff is for, but that's irrelevant right now. King Bops Jam Rock, thank you for being so engaging. I need to go back and look and see who you are, because you're probably someone that I know. And we'll talk again soon. Thanks, everybody. No, and I need to figure out how to turn this thing off without losing it. It says pause live, but I don't know how to come out of it. Oh my gosh. Okay, is it the power button at the top here? Let me see. See you soon. See you soon too. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this thing? I guess that's it there. I have no clue. Let me go end live. Yes, okay.